So if every day you go to lift, you take 3 teammates with you, now all 4 of you can keep each other accountable.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Champion School, where we're breaking down leadership, mindset, all things sports and MLU related. BZB, how you doing?
Doing good, Ray Mac. We're killing it today, man. It's been a good day. We're excited about this one. This podcast is a very, very, very good one, and we're excited about this. So, how are you, Ray? How are you doing?
I'm great. First of all, let's take a little peek here. This is my new guy. Okay, the first person that. And if you're listening, right, get to YouTube. First person that's able to tell me who this guy is going to get sent a prize. So if you can give me the name in the comment section, DMs, whatever, great. But other than that, I'm doing great.
Can I qualify for this?
No, you cannot. No, you cannot. You wouldn't have the answer anyways. So
no, I would not have the answer.
What's new with MLU? I know we just got a couple things posted and a very busy next couple months. Break it down for us.
Yes, this fall, I mean, coming off a really good summer, a strong summer, we had a little bit of a little breather there through the end of August, which was nice, kind of reset, re-engage. And this fall, we have some really exciting things going on. We have our first annual leadership retreat in Lake Tahoe. It's going to be incredible. Buddy. Shout out to Jen. She's up there in Northern Nevada. She's been our greatest baseball mom. I mean, she's been killing it for us. And we got something really cool set up in store for a lot of the Reno folks. If you're nearby in surrounding areas, Sacramento, San Francisco, Bay Area is very close, couple-hour drive. Come on over for that. It's early October. October 8th is going to be a one-day event, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be awesome. So we're pumped on that one. We have another one set up for next July here in Arizona up in the mountains. So that'll be really cool for high school athletes as well. Just equipping athletes before they go back to school to be leaders, to be in a good mental headspace, to continue to help others on campus. And then some camps. Camp season starting this weekend. That's so right when you get this, right when this is released, we will just be leaving Maxwell, California, small town there. Former teammate Tyler Wells, shout out. He got that set up there. He's coaching high school up there in youth baseball. So we're excited to be there in town, right near your hometown, Ray Mack and Winters. That's then we have a couple cool locations coming up here this fall between the high schools, the colleges, and the camps. So a lot of cool stuff happening. We're excited. We're thrilled. We're bearing down. And that doesn't even touch on the NFT space that we're diving into, that Ray Mack's been crushing it on the back end. Nobody sees the hard work that goes in for this stuff. So we're excited about all of this.
Yeah, NFTs on the NFT side, if you haven't checked it out, released by now, I'm sure is going to be our episode of Sandlot Talk. We just brought on Lauren Turton. Really cool episode. So check that out. And we're going to be kind of just tag teaming every week. I think we're going to try and put one out, even if that's just us BSing and kind of introducing some NFT stuff to you guys. We'll keep them separate, obviously, but a lot of good stuff on that. And then the art's really coming along, dude. Like we got color coming. I legitimately think we're probably a week away from being almost done completely with the art. So great first step. So
let's go.
Anyways, let's get it started with the good news of the week. Good news of the week. Number one, NFL football is back.
Back. Let's go.
And apparently the Cardinals are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
Probably stated by my fiance. Sorry.
Listen. And yourself, excuse me.
Okay, the Cardinals are good, but how about them boys, baby? Them boys only losing by 2 to TB12 and the Bucks. Yes, it's a loss, but they look good. They look promising, and they had the game won if we can make some field goals. Just don't even get me started. So I like the direction the Cowboys are headed. It's our year, baby. No more 8-8s.
Do you think the Cowboys are, what's better, Dak Prescott coming back and being a dude again? Or is it more, okay, not better, more important that Tom Brady might just not have the energy late in the game anymore?
Tom Brady has the energy. You gave him a minute 20 left on the clock with one timeout, and he marches down for a field goal within 45 seconds. He's got the energy.
He's the best.
He's the best. I mean, the dude never ages, dude. He's unbelievable. You see him on all these commercials, like the Subway commercial gets me every time. It's this dude's just, I mean, he might play another 10 years. I don't know. The dude's just insane. He's got good weapons. I mean, let's not discount the people around him.
Yeah. And
He's
let's
good.
combo that with, he's also starting in a huge NFT business based around sports called Autograph. No free shout outs, but autograph.io. If you're looking into sports collectibles, like he's doing it on the business side. And that's going to be a multi-million-dollar business, just in his free time. So
Yeah.
anyways,
On the side.
Good news number 2. I don't know if you noticed, but let me get this on here, baby.
Oh, that's a McIntyre jersey, baby.
Yeah, it is. And you know what team it is?
Yeah, they clinched.
Only clinching team.
Dodgers clinched.
The same. Okay, well, first clinching team. Excuse me. The San Francisco Giants. Let me run you through some of the preseason rankings. I just want to give a couple shout outs to these extremely good publications and their predictability. Starting with The Ringer, who posted them at 25th preseason. ESPN, the guys that talk sports all the time, 23 preseason. And MLB, the guys that actually put the league on, 22nd preseason. So shout out to my Giants.
Wow.
I'm really excited about that. How do you think they're going to fare postseason? I know they got that Chris KB, dude, my guy. First of all, I love having him, but how are they going to fare in the postseason?
Culture wins, man. The pitching wins, culture wins, defense wins, experience wins. They have a good blend between young and old. And I don't even want to say old. I just want to say more veterans seasoned, right? Brandon Belt, Posey, V-Craw, the staff. I mean, they have guys who weren't even supposed to do good this year over the last couple of years who are killing it this year. So seeing them kind of be, I don't want to say resurrected, but reignited this year and seeing the energy that they bring, man, they are dangerous. Now the Dodgers are scary because of their weapons. I still think culture beats weapons any day. So I really like where the Giants are. I think they play free. They play really good baseball. I saw a slash the other day in the big leagues. Give me a break. A pitcher slashing for an RBI. Play the game, baby. Play to win the game. The long ball doesn't show up in October or November in San Francisco. So you've got to be able to play the game, and that's what they're doing. So it's exciting to watch, man. I got to give them a shout out, although I'm not a big fan. Go White Sox.
Yeah, go Bummer.
I know.
The Sox don't need to do it. All right. Moving on. This week's Zen. This week's Zen, I just want to get into real quick meditation. We've had some questions reach out about it. Just from your aspect, somebody just getting into meditation, how do you get started? What are you thinking about? What give us your journey. How did you get into it?
Yeah, my journey. So we did visualization and some forms of meditation at Nevada, which led through a little bit of professional baseball. And then I really just needed help. I kept hearing very successful people who made a lot of money and made a big impact talk about meditation. They talked about it all the time. I listened to some of the monks and different people on YouTube and podcasts. And I was finally just made the decision, I need to try this. I need to do this. And so I started small, a couple minutes a day of just breathing, focusing on my breath, watching it come in through the nose, watching it leave through the mouth. And through this time and space, I started to work up to 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I even had one that was going 30 minutes for the day. And I realized that was a little too long for me in my schedule. I'm going to go back to 10 minutes. And so I stuck with the 10-minute mark, and I really love it, man. It's just, there's a great documentary. If you haven't watched it yet on Netflix, go watch Headspace, and you can download the app. It's an app that you can have that gives you so many different guided meditations and visualizations. And they give this awesome example. I think Buddha might have said, I don't know, but it sounds like a Buddha comment, right? It was really cool. He says, imagine sitting on the side of the busiest freeway that you can ever think of. So I'm thinking of the 80 in California, the 101 or the I-10 in Arizona. Or the 5 anywhere, right? The whole strip. So I'm looking at this and I'm sitting on the side in a lawn chair and I'm watching all these cars fly by. And the cars are my thoughts. Here I am on the side of the road. I'm watching my thoughts go by. That's what meditation looks like. And sometimes when we see the fancy car, the new Mercedes, the sweet new Tesla, shout out Elon Musk, legendary. I need a Tesla. Come on. If you got to hook up, let me know. But I'm watching these things and sometimes I grab onto them and I ride that Mercedes for 15, 20 minutes. I jump on the BMW because it looks sexy. I go find that new Tesla model, whatever that I enjoy. And I'm like, boom, I keep jumping from thought to thought. Meditation is simply sitting back and watching your thoughts pass by without trying to take hold and grab on to every single thought. So that to me just opened it up because I'm very visual, and I saw myself sitting there and I see, hey, what are we going to do next in business? What camp can we set up? Who's going to allow us to come speak? How do we expand college? All these different thoughts that I get, let alone my personal life. And I'm sitting here grabbing onto them. And next thing you know, 3-5 minutes pass in my meditation, I'm thinking about this same thing for so long. And I have to check myself for a second, reset, and then re-engage. So all meditation is learning how to sit with your thoughts. We don't have to cancel them out and get rid of them. I don't have to be super still, because I won't. And the first time that you sit down to breathe, it's going to start bombarding you like crazy. It's insane how fast it comes. Your goal is just to allow them to come in and allow them to go out. Breathe it in, breathe it out. So meditation to me, man, is so powerful. It's changed my life. And it's part of the morning routine that I will never change. It will be there all day, no matter where we're at. It's so powerful, so powerful.
Get on the meditation train. If you haven't checked them out, the monks on YouTube, apparently pretty good, pretty good YouTube channel.
I don't even know who it was. Sagdu Arub. I don't know his name, but he was killing it, dude. He's got his whole gear on, big old beard, but he's awesome with it. It's so good. Really good explanations.
All right. Well, hey, I'll be looking into it. This week, we didn't say it at the top of the show. I keep missing this, but Coach Cole Mahoney, Ventura College, one of the best dudes ever. If you want to sit and chat with this guy over a burrito down the street from his college, I'm sure he would crush just a combo, just to have. So, Canadian from Canada, now in Southern California. Without further ado, Coach Mahoney.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Champion School Podcast. We are fired up today to have Coach Cole here over at Ventura College, man, doing some amazing things over there. Got to meet a few guys from the staff now, and it's just a great environment, great culture. And that's what we're all about here with Champion School, is mindset, leadership, and culture, and helping develop athletes, coaches, et cetera, especially with the mental game. So Cole, how are you doing, man? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the show. We're fired up to have you, man. How are you?
Good to be here. Good sunny day, so we'll take it.
Got that sunny California weather, man. I gotta ask you, does it ever get super hot there, or is it always 75 and sunny?
Dude, it's always 75 and sunny. It's like our weather 90% of the year is 65 to maybe 85, and can't beat it.
So if you are a recruit, no, I'm kidding. But that is, I'm jealous.
Did I mention the beach was only 10 minutes away?
What else? How's the food, man? Do you have good Mexican food? Like, come on, lay it on me. Some sushi. Let's go.
Phenomenal. About 2 minutes off campus, get a great burrito.
Oh, perfect. Man. This is, you got me sold, man. I got 2 years of eligibility left. I'm coming in.
Let's do it.
Well, Coach, kind of just fill us in on your story, man. We were talking a little off air, and you kind of dropped something on us that we had no clue about, which was awesome. It was really, really cool. And so kind of share your story, man, how you got into coaching, where you grew up, and kind of your playing days, and what led you to where you are now here coaching at Ventura College and leading the program.
For sure. Well, my playing days, I wish they were better than they were, but it took me to a lot of cool places. So I grew up just south of Toronto. Went to junior college in New Jersey, and like everyone, D1, held out to the summer of my sophomore year. Went to the University of Buffalo for a year. It was awesome. It just wasn't a good fit. Academically, you go from a junior college where there's 20 people in your class, and my first class in Buffalo, there was 450. Oh, it was like, all right, this is a little different. So that didn't work out for me. So then I transferred to NAI school in Iowa, and there I met my future wife. She was a volleyball player, grew up in Southern California. Obviously at this point I realized probably not going to be playing on ESPN anytime soon. So let's coach. She was going to move back to California, so followed her out here. And then I started at a high school, Oaks Christian in Westlake. So if you've ever driven down the 101, you'll probably see it on the side of the highway. My funny story, my first time ever going there, I didn't know anyone. They're practicing, and it's like middle of May. So I don't know anything about California baseball. our school had been eliminated from the playoffs like 2-3 weeks ago, and they're practicing. So I was like, all right, I'll just hang out here. The coach walks over, introduces himself. I was like, hey, I just want to talk to you about maybe helping out or whatever. She's like, yeah, I'll be over in 10 minutes. An hour and 10 minutes later, he comes back over. And then all of a sudden he was a groomsman in my wedding like 6 years later. So,
Wow.
but I always rib him about that. I'm like, yeah, 10 minutes, right? So cool. I was there for 3 summers, 2 years. We won a CIF title. I think that was in 14. We had Phil Bigford, who now pitches for the Dodgers, a bunch of other guys that were really good on that team. After that, I went to Pepperdine, did graduate school through the University of Washington. And then when I was done there for the year, I landed at Ventura, the low man on the totem pole. Head coach retired. Everyone kind of got bumped up, moved up to recruiting coordinator. New head coach got the AD job, and I just happened to be there. So it all worked out.
It sounds like the perfect storm, man. And I'm still rattled. You went from living in southern Toronto, which is almost too far for me to even fathom right now, being on the West Coast, and then going to Southern California, but you went and played in Buffalo. Now we have some good friends in Buffalo, and all we hear about Buffalo is there's about, shout out to Buffalo, but there's like 5 months of nice, sunny, decent weather. And then the other 7 is just a monster snowstorm. Was it different? I mean, I guess for you kind of had snow in Toronto, but is it nice now not having the snow going out west?
It's definitely nice not having the snow, but it is an absolute trip because I lived on the west side of the lake growing up. When you live on the south side, the snow impact is very different. We would wake up for 5:30 weights, and all 4 of us would have shovels inside the front door, because there would be mornings we'd wake up and there's 2 feet of snow, and you're shoveling out to make sure you're not late to weights.
Oh, what?
Yikes. I mean, we were cold in Reno, but that's another level of cold.
That's next level snow right there. So think about, I mean, I'm like just hearing your story, man, hearing how you kind of just have kind of rolled and flowed right into the head coaching job there. It's kind of cool to see the opportunity that pops up too, and going from high school to college. For you, what's the biggest difference that you're seeing from the high school level when you were coaching there to now being the coach at Ventura and leading the program and seeing it from a college level now? Almost kind of like, what are the differences between that high school level coaching there and then leading into this collegiate level?
Yeah. Well, I was pretty fortunate. The high school we were at was really high academics. So those kids were pretty dialed in on everything. And they had almost like a plan for what they wanted to do. So it was more keeping them targeted on what they wanted to achieve, and then kind of helping them, because they, as long as they didn't stray, they knew what they wanted, and we just kind of give them some nuggets of information where we could. At this level, it's a lot more of formulating that plan and then teaching them how to execute it. And for me, I think, as a young head coach, I kind of remember what it was like at that level a little bit more. So, we're just trying to teach them to be disciplined in what you want. And, it's not always going to be easy, and it's not always going to be rainbows, but if you keep that end goal in mind of what you want to do, it makes all the other boring stuff, worthwhile. Like, I was never a weight room guy. I still don't like the weight room. I do it because I know the benefits that I want. So it's kind of teaching them that is like, what do you want in life? Because there's going to be something that you don't want to do. Like, I don't want to do 5 hours of COVID paperwork right now a week, but like, that's the cost of getting to coach baseball. So just teaching them, like, there's a good and a bad side to everything, and decide what you want and realize like that's the price of doing what you really want.
You always have the choice.
Exactly.
Even when it's the worst thing ever, like, hey man, you picked this. Just remember that, so that's awesome. So you made the trip, right? What was it like growing up in Toronto, first of all, and baseball, getting into the States from Toronto? It's got to be a little more difficult, right? Like, can you just break that down a little bit?
For sure. Growing up, just South of Toronto was amazing. I played 6 sports most of the time growing up. It was phenomenal. In that regard, though, when you go to play baseball, you start out a little bit behind. And then, yeah, being seen is definitely the hardest thing. Like I went to a junior college, my first 2 years, well, and I left after that, but they got scholarships the year after I left. So like going down, it was like, you just find a spot that'll take you and get in. Now there's some bigger organizations like OBJ was the big one when I was growing up that they would take a Florida trip. My program, we paid, I think like 2,000 a year and we would go to 4 tournaments. And, I had friends on their team that were paying 10,000. I was like,
Oh,
single mom, I'm
jeez.
probably not going to be able to afford 10,000 a year. So, just kind of the way it worked out. We'd go to all the tournaments we can, but we mostly played, Ohio, Michigan, New York State. We'd go down to Long Island, the Long Island Tigers, Bayside Yankees, Youth Services. We'd play them all the time. And it was amazing. When I started high school to when I finished, it was just night and day to how good our whole team got going down and doing that. But yeah, your opportunities are definitely a lot harder to come by, and you really got to market yourself. Part of that experience is now helped me with my guys though. They'll just tell me, "Oh, coach, I want to stay in the South," and it's like coaches really want guys that want to be in their program specifically. So what do you know about it beyond hey, they've got my major and the weather's good? Like, dude, I get that. That's amazing. But why do you want to be there? Like, have you looked into their program at all? And you go a little bit deeper. And I think, obviously as a young coach, I still get a little more worked up than older guys that have done it and they've seen the flow of it. But at the end of the day, when I'm talking to my guys, it's like the more homework you do, the more you know, the better it is for you. And at the end of the day, this is an individual battle in a team concept. So we really try to help every individual learn how to be the best they can be, and then how we tie it all together as a team. So it's just about educating them on that process and how to educate themselves on, you're not going to know everything, but how can you set yourself up to know the most you possibly can?
That's so good. And I love the fact that it's an individual type of thing within a team sport, right? Like when you're going to junior college or you're going to any school, right? And you're almost picking your family as a coach. And as a coach, you get to pick who comes for the most part. And obviously there's going to be guys who kind of show up out of nowhere, but you're picking your family, right? And so seeing that from your own experience and being a little more challenging, I'm sure, through the recruiting process, coming over to the States, going back and forth, crossing the border, and just all the sacrifices that you guys were making to come out here, that helps a lot of people. And I know there's some of our listeners are from Newfoundland. I don't know if you heard of Newfoundland, but it's really far east. I saw it on the map. It was crazy. And they run a great organization called Premier Sports. They do a lot of mental training there, and they do a lot of work on the mindset and the leadership components and getting their guys exposed using social media now and helping them. Are you seeing that social media has been a benefit for you as a coach? Is it helped you find players? Is that an avenue that you would recommend athletes being able to promote themselves with to help them be seen or to go to another school?
Yeah, I think it's beneficial, right? Anytime you can be seen, by more coaches, the better. If you have an option and you get reached out to by a coach, you can do research and see if it's a good fit. So for sure, I think it's a benefit. I think where some kids need a little education on is you can be showcased or you can be exposed. And you really need to know where you are at your specific development. And it's not a bad thing. If you haven't hit your growth spurt and you haven't really developed yet, don't post anything yet. Keep working, keep grinding, it'll happen. And then highlight yourself when you can. But, if you're haven't hit your, like I didn't hit my growth spurt till my junior year of high school. If I'm 5'2", throwing 68, every school is going to cross me off. So you just hope that they don't add you to a list and they say, don't touch. And so it's like, why would you do that to yourself? So just make sure you help yourself out. Make sure you listen to your coaches. I'm sure they're telling you the right stuff. And just sometimes they don't want to hear it. So just make sure you really, at the end of the day, you're marketing yourself for a job. So you want to
Yeah.
put your best foot forward.
Yeah,
That's so good.
everybody puts on that face, right? Like it's a social media, Instagram look of their career. And then sometimes, you're just putting too much out there. So I'm with that. For you developing as a head coach and like becoming a head coach, what has been some of the biggest challenges? Like I was a volunteer for, however long. And I would always see so much off field that the head coach has to go through that's really not seen by a lot of people. So just go into that a little bit and how this growth and journey has been for you.
Man, I think Austin and I were talking about this yesterday. It's like, as an assistant, you work so hard to get good at your position group or hitting or pitching, and it's like you get good at that, you do a good job, and then it's like, oh, by the way, now you're never going to do that. Enjoy this 8 hours of paperwork every day. It's like, man, all right. So I think coaching in that regard is a tough gig. I mean, really, you get really good at something, and then, by the way, don't do it. So for me, it's learning how to deal with the team dynamics and, the culture that we want to develop. And I know that word's overused, but really that team atmosphere. And then, you as a coach, and I tell my guys, and I'm very upfront with this, is I'm developing just as much as you are, just in different areas. So just because you come and talk to me and I have some answers, it's really only because I've done that longer. And the best way I've heard it explained is this comedian that my wife and I went and saw was like, it's like this, man. There's 25 seasons of Lost out, and your dad's seen all 25 and you've only seen 5. So who knows the show better? It's not because you're not smarter. It's just you haven't seen it all yet. So that's what I remind them about. I go, honestly, more than half of you are probably smarter than I am, but I've seen more than you. So keep learning. And once you've seen more and more, you'll be really good. So every day I'm just trying to figure this out and get it dialed in. Last year, to be honest, I haven't been a head coach without COVID. So that's another interesting dynamic.
Yeah.
I'm learning. So it's been a lot more off field. So I've had that opportunity to learn, but my first year, it was like, honestly, just treading water. Second year, I was like, all right, I've got these things that I want to add in and get done. And it was learning to deal with the people on campus. And then this year we hired a new lady, Melissa. She's awesome, but she's, got us in study hall. She got that all dialed in. So we've got a room squared away. We've got tutoring lined up. It's just where's going to make the biggest impact. And what I'm seeing now is they're going to do baseball extra. So I don't need to kill myself to do 3 early outs a week with guys, where now I can do 1 or 2 each week. But it's getting them that study hall hours. Now I would say 85% of our guys have tutors. And it's just getting that dialed in, because it's going to make the biggest impact for them. So, you want to do all this stuff. Like, I want cool t-shirts, and it's like, that doesn't make an impact. So just finding where I can really impact the guys the most and spend the most time and just talk to them, while also respecting their time. I don't want to have 6-hour practices and they're like scrambling to get homework done. So it's just kind of finding the balance, and hopefully refining it every year. And being honest with myself about what's good and what's bad, and what do we need to add.
That's so good. And just I didn't even realize that it has been all through COVID that you've been a head coach. Like, hey, here you go. Good luck. Figure it out on your own. And by the way, here's all the stuff that you have to do now because of this. So it's like, man, what the heck? But embracing that opportunity. And then, like you said, man, you're continually, even through COVID and having all the uncertainty and all the things that I'm sure you've had to deal with off the field that you might not like as much as the on the field, right? And that's why you do it for the on the field, but you just keep refining your process, like you said. And that's the coolest part, is to see the growth, to see adding in new things. And then the study hall piece. I mean, not a lot of people really take those grades seriously, but for all the athletes at your school, a lot of them have hopes and the talent to play at the next level. It's just a really good opportunity, whether they're not developed enough yet, or this is just the best chance for them to go get seen, or whatever it might be in their specific case. Having them get in the study hall, get the tutors, have the right help around them, just to have that, man. Those resources are so powerful. How do you, or how will you, I guess, now kind of moving forward, instill that team atmosphere, that culture piece, that just togetherness, bringing these guys together? Because you get them for 1 or 2 years. And I'm sure you have some guys who come there for a year, they dominate, they get drafted, or they move on. You have other guys who go there for a year, they realize they're not good enough, or they just don't like it, and they leave. And then you've got 17, 18-year-old kids coming in for the first time. And now I'm sure with COVID, 21, 22-year-old junior college athletes, right? 3 or 4 years of eligibility. Like, how do you, and maybe we don't even know, but how are you able to instill that culture at a program where you only get them for 2, you don't have the luxury for all 4 years, even like a high school with those 4 years? Maybe what are some tips or some tactics, or even just some things that you've thought about of like, hey, this could help us, or this is what we do to instill that dynamic within our program?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing is we talk about a lot about their individual development, and the way we tie in the team concept is, we've got, say, 15 guys that really need to get in the weight room. Well, if you go work out by yourself, that's awesome. You're getting better, but you're going to have a bad day where you're like, man, I don't want to lift. So if every day you go to lift, you take 3 teammates with you, now all 4 of you can keep each other accountable. So that's how we talk about it, is your job here for your 2 years or 1 is to be the best you can. So you need to commit to the weight room. So 6 a.m. weights, if you want to do an extra one on the weekend, you've got plenty of time. So don't ever go by yourself. You're trying to get better, but if you want to be the best you can, you need teammates right alongside you, because you're not going to go to second base and win a game by yourself. As good as I think my second baseman could be, it's like you need a shortstop to feed you the ball. So did you invite him? Did you invite your roommates? Did you invite one other apartment? So that's really how we tie it in, is I want you to understand your role and be the best you can at your role, but I don't want you to accept your role. Even our Tuesday guy, who's our Friday night guy, I don't want you to accept your role. You're a Tuesday guy at a junior college. I want you to be the Friday guy at a D1 or in pro ball. So it's just, what's your role right now? Be the best you can at it. And then always strive to be at the next role, but don't complain about it. Work to get that next one. So it's just teaching that mindset of, you can't do it yourself. I can't coach this team by myself. So I need a great assistant coach with me. And that's kind of how we talk about it, is just always bring someone with you, because you're lifting the team up and the team's going to lift all of us. So that's kind of how we approach that.
It's really good. And Ray, you can attest to this too. I think the common theme, and maybe we just change this to the accountability podcast, but every single coach or mental skill director or businessman or woman, whoever's been on, has all talked about accountability, whether it's with themselves or with their teammates. And then we talked a lot about that 10-80-10 rule, that principle, and that goes right into what you just said of, hey, let's bring some people with us, because you know as well as I know, not every day is beautiful, right? You said not every day is sunshine and rainbows. But if I have Ray Mac with me, if I have Cole with me, if I have Johnny with me to come in and say, hey, man, you've got more today. You can do this, right? Let's keep working. We're almost done. You got 30 minutes, then we get out on the field and do the fun stuff. If I'm not a big weight room guy, just that team atmosphere and that buy-in for each other is so powerful. What are some of the biggest, I guess I would say, I don't want to say distractions, because I'm sure there's a lot of distractions, especially right now, right? But what are some of the biggest difficulties for you and your coaching staff to getting either A, guys to buy in, or 2, guys to embrace where they are? Just because I hear a lot about the JUCO ban, and we get to work with a lot of junior college programs. And one of the very first things that most of them will say, and there's nothing against them, but it's like, the JUCO mentality, right? The bulldog mentality. I'm like, I love it, right? Like, freaking go. I heard it again yesterday, just go after it.
But I think some hold like a little resentment of that D1 didn't recruit me. I didn't get drafted. My grades weren't good enough. I shouldn't be here type of deal. So what are some of maybe the biggest difficulties that you might deal with as a staff to getting those guys to be like, hey guys, I get it. Let's lock into what our cause and our mission is today.
Yeah, that's a great question. You really have to reach the guys almost individually, because there's some guys that are going to play with that chip, and those guys are easy. You fuel that chip and they're going to take off. And then there's other guys, you got to find what motivates them, Everyone plays the game differently. If you watch Max Scherzer, that guy looks like he's going to chew someone's head off out there.
Scary.
Yeah. I don't want to see that guy.
No.
And then, you watch Mookie Betts hit, and that dude looks like he could fall asleep sometimes.
He's napping. Yep.
Yeah. So, I played in a very different mindset than I coach in. There's no way I could coach in that mindset. So it's just connecting with them and then really kind of helping them separate, like, when you cross the line, it is go time. When you're off the field, you can deal with other things. So it's kind of that separation. And to be quite honest with you, I'm still working on that. So what I've started this year is, like, all the position guys need to lay their gloves right in front of our dugout to kind of, signify before stretching, like, all right, like, this is practice time. I've heard a few guys say that a few pro guys used to walk out to the infield dirt, pick up dirt, smell it. And that was their kind of like, all right, everything off the field is done. And now it's, play time. But off the field stuff is just as hard on academics, which is the scariest part at this level. And we talk about the academic piece as, who doesn't love $7,000 in your pocket? And I just use a random number every year, but it's like, if you go out and you get a 3.5 GPA, you're going to get academic money as a junior college transfer at most schools. So you're telling me that you got a 3.2 instead of a 3.5. You just don't like money? Like, I'm confused. What are we doing? So I think you give them real world examples. And I learned from, honestly, a PE teacher in high school that was the best example. We had these kids in our PE class that thought it was cool to smoke every day. And he's like, seriously, how much do you guys smoke? And they're like a pack a week. He's like, all right, let's say a pack's $10. He does all this math. He's like, if you stop smoking for 2 years, you'd buy that car that you want. So it's talking to these kids about, if instead of messing around with, Cindy and Janessa or whoever it is, you get to the library, you get the work done, and now all of a sudden, maybe you can afford USC because you got that 20,000 academic, where if you missed out on that and you only got 10, your family can't afford it. So really just always talking about priorities. And the biggest thing, I think, is just talking to them and being honest with them. And if you ever have to, you got to call that individual into your office and have a little bit different conversation with him. But try to do that, one-on-one, whereas the team, it's just about priorities and what are your priorities? What do you really want to do? The biggest thing is in the recruiting process, like, we ask them what they want, and like, no, don't like, oh, I want to go play pro ball. I get it. So do I. What are you working towards? What are you doing, and how are you going to get there? And then when they get here, it's easy because we've already talked about it. It's like, you told me that you want to play in the Big West. Do you think you're doing what it takes to be in the Big West? Because I'm going to tell you, like, I've seen it. I help out at UCSB's camps. Like, I've seen all this stuff. Your actions don't add up to what you're saying. So let's be honest. And are you doing it? And are you going to change it?
You sound like such a player's coach. Like, I would love to have played for you, How old are you, by the way?
33.
Yeah. See, I'm 30, and we're seeing eye to eye right now with the way you're talking. What do you like to do off the field? What is your life beyond baseball?
Man, well, I have my wife to thank for that, because without her, I would have nothing. I wouldn't do anything except baseball. So she's actually really into travel. I've never left the continent before I met her. So now we take like a big trip every year. So we've gone to France, Italy, Greece, a couple of times down to Mexico. So we started traveling. And then I was more of like the car trip. So we do Big Bear and a couple other trips. So we went to Montana this summer, which was really cool. Definitely recommend. Pork belly was phenomenal. But no, it's just kind of she actually I think has saved me from burnout because I would just be baseball 24/7. So just spending time with her, and then I think this dog's training me more than I'm training it, to be quite honest with you. But no, yeah, just hanging out with her and the dog and friends and learning how to cook new things is about it.
What's your favorite spot you've traveled outside of the United States?
Probably Italy.
Ooh,
It's
down.
that sounds great.
Rome is impressive.
Really? Did you go to the Colosseum too? I'm assuming.
Oh
it's
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be sweet.
Yeah, definitely recommend it. I tell all my guys though, I was like, I wouldn't do it if I was your age. I don't know if I would have appreciated it as a college student. Although they might appreciate other things, but
True.
like seeing the places, the food, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous the lifestyles they have over there. Like I'm all in on it. They go to work late. They take like a 2-hour lunch, nap, and then they go back to work a little later in the day. And it's like, man, they're living and they work to live. Where I feel like, we're the other way over here, and it's not good, bad, or indifferent. It's just different, and it's kind of cool to see that there's a different way to do things than the 9-to-5 grind of some other things. Where in athletics, it's not 9-to-5. I was doing COVID emails, at 10:30 last night, and texting with kids that couldn't get physicals because they're in a COVID trace at 11. So it's like it's just a different world, and it's kind of cool to get a glimpse into other people's lives.
That's like probably the coolest part about any traveling. Now I haven't been to Italy and I want to go badly. And hopefully soon we're going to Mexico in October, and this will be my second time there. I'm excited about that. It'll be good. And then
Where are you guys going?
we're going down to Cancun.
Nice.
So been to Cabo once, haven't been to Cancun. It looks pretty sweet. I don't know. I'm just excited for the all-inclusive. You're telling me I can go get sushi whenever I want. I can get Mexican food whenever I want. I'm sold. You don't have to tell me the price. Let's line it up. But the culture, right? I think that's why we love traveling too. And I know Ray Mac's going down to Big Bear to run an event here soon too, which is awesome. Let's go. Cool. Shout out to Ray Mac. Keep going. 1 month away, baby.
Thank you.
But it's really cool to see the different lifestyles and to see different communities and to see how different people act, respond, work, different things. And we go to a lot of small towns, and you can almost get some of those same feels as you were explaining with Italy in a small town where it's like, hey, I own my own butcher shop, right? And I go cut a half a beef or a beef a day, and here I get it out, and then I go home. I go home, I chill, I hang out, right? It's almost like this slower pace of living. And for me, living in the Bay Area before, now in Arizona, for you in LA, I mean, that's just go, 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 go. And in the coaching world, it's so fast paced. So that's really cool. I love to hear those different the thoughts just on traveling. I'm a big fan of travel. It's really cool.
Yeah, like I'm not a soccer fan by any means, but like I really want to go to a European soccer game and just experience the crowd and the chanting, and like it looks rad.
Yes.
I am down for that. And what we have Olympics are coming, or is it Olympics or something's coming to LA in the next 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah. Yep. The Olympics will be here. So that'll be insane.
Pumped. And that's right in your backyard. Bai and I were already talking. We got to get out there. I don't even know what events we'd go to, but just to experience it, who cares?
Yeah. I want to go see the ridiculous events that you've never heard of, right? Like, what is it? The Winter Olympics have that one where you ski and then you stop and shoot stuff. It's like, all right. Like, I don't even know what that is. I don't know how you win it, but I want to go see it.
Yeah. If there's a sport that you're joining to train for the next decade in the Olympics, what is it?
European handball all day.
That's
so
right.
sick.
We've talked about it. Like, that's a sport made for a 5'8" middle infielder like myself.
Right? Great hands, can move the ball quick, and then if he needs to zip it in the goal, you got a little juice in the arm. Love it.
Dude, I love handball. It's honestly the one sport when I saw it on TV when I was, I don't know what, 20 or whatever, I was like, that's something we missed out on for sure. Do
Oh,
they have
for
it in
sure.
Canada?
We used to play it in PE, never as like a competitive sport, but we used to throw it into the corner, like a corner three, and then we'd have a guy jump from the 3-point line and we try to bat it in. Like
Alley-oop.
the greatest game.
That's so
So much
cool.
fun.
I think we got a good trio right here. We got a good start to an Olympic
That's
team,
right.
Team USA. If you're listening,
There we go. We got to get a team, right?
we're ready to go, baby. We're ready to go. Before we get into our little game here, I'll let Ray Mac kind of take it over and we'll rock it out. But well, for you, and I know it's been a very interesting transition. I'm sure it's been a couple years now. It's going on year 3, and just going through your coaching journey. We have a lot of younger coaches. We have a lot of parents of athletes. We have a lot of, I guess, just coaches in general that are looking to learn, looking for different information, thoughts. What is your biggest piece of advice to a new coach, whether it's high school or college, maybe somebody who's in that volley role or the GA role, who's just looking to get their feet wet and kind of break into the system? What is your biggest piece of advice for them as they continue to progress on their coaching career and coaching circuit?
Yeah, the first thing I would say is, I did this as a player and as a young coach, is you think someone else always has every answer, and that's not the case. The best coaches are continually just figuring it out. So don't be upset or don't think less of yourself if you don't have every answer. Just keep trying to figure it out. The next thing I would say is, regardless of who you're coaching under, they know more than you. They've seen more. So take everything you absolutely can from every person, and you can always tweak it to fit yourself or discard it if you don't want it. But there's always good and bad to learn from every single person. I've been lucky to learn from a lot of good coaches. There's some stuff that I still use to this day, and there's other stuff where it doesn't fit me, my style, my personality. I'm very chill off the field, but on the field, like, I want to be fast paced. I want to win. There's no excuses. Like, we got to go. At the end of practice, you can, huff air and drink a lot of water, but like, that's my style. So I have to coach to that style. I have to recruit to that style. So learn yourself, know what you're comfortable in. And I think that's the hardest part, is being comfortable with yourself. The second you're comfortable with yourself, everyone in your program is going to benefit. So just make sure that you get comfortable with yourself and you know who you are, and then don't get lost in, being Ray Mac or Austin. You take from you guys, but still be yourself and be true to you.
That is so good. It is wisdom. It is Wisdom Nugget Wednesday as we are recording, and that was a wisdom nugget bomb drop right there, baby. Let's go, Ray Mac. Hit him with the game, baby. Let's go.
We're gonna just clip that. We'll save it as its own deal. Send it on out. It's gonna be good. So,
Oh boy.
so for today, our game, on it or off it. New segment we've introduced. Basically, I'm gonna give you a list of 10 things, pretty rapid fire, and you are gonna say you're either on it, in for it, or you're off it. You're not. It's not what you're about, and just a quick reason why. Just a one sentence.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sure.
All right.
Do it.
Number 1, NASCAR.
On it.
Why?
Love to go fast, man. Let's do it.
There you go. Meditation.
On it. I think, anytime you can lock in and relax on something, and I explain to my guys, do it before bed. It's the absolute best time. You go to bed hitting, 4 doubles and an Oppo taco. Who doesn't want to wake up fired up to play?
Great way to end the day. I love it. Collecting sports cards.
On it.
Yeah.
Grandma sent me, I think for my 4th birthday, a whole binder with the whole set. Been on it forever.
What sport was that? What collection?
Hockey.
Hey,
Yeah.
there it is.
Canadian roots.
Mexican food.
On it. Can't get enough of it. Guacamole looked like snot when I first got out here, and now I can't eat enough of it.
California avocados. Yep. What's off topic? Best go-to spot for you down there? Mexican food. I know. Sorry, spur of the moment.
Dude, I can't call out one place. You're gonna get me in trouble.
Give me 2. Give me 2.
Guadalupe's down the street from the school, and and then Ola's in Camarillo.
We're gonna mark those because we're in LA a good amount, and we've been just hunting down the Mexicans. So
Anytime you're in town, we'll go.
absolutely. Back to it. Automated strike zones.
Off it.
You don't even have to explain yourself. Fishing.
Fishing, off it.
Naps.
Naps, on it.
On it.
Let's go.
Dude, 5 to 6 a.m. waits, nice nap after that, a little breakfast. You're feeling good.
You're a seasoned veteran. The Los Angeles Clippers.
Off.
Ice skating.
On it. Love it.
Oh, did you play hockey growing up? Did you play?
Yeah, all the way till college.
Oh, right.
Wow.
Last one. The completely opposite. Surfing.
On it, however, off the board.
Off the board. Yeah. It is not an easy thing to do. There's no way.
I think the longest I've ever been on a board is about 2.5 seconds.
That's why I boogie board, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Nice job. That was awesome. Again, like we've talked and just talking to you now, it's like you're a great dude. You're a great coach, and your guys are really going to benefit from just who you are as a person. You know, like you're authentic, you care about them, and it really shows in the way you speak. And we can't thank you enough for coming on with us today.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I don't have it figured out, and we all have our good days and our bad days. And the thing to remember for me is, just pouring into them. And there's days where that's difficult, like I've got guys that keep messing up, but at the end of the day, we're here to educate. And, I wish every one of my guys would go to the MLB, but that's not the case. So we got to make sure when they leave that they represent us, they represent themselves and their families. And, we got to keep that in check. And I think sometimes we can get lost in that, and, just got to keep reminding myself that that's really what we're doing it for.
So good, man. And thank you. I'm a true believer in energy radiates amongst others, and great energy, man, the positivity, the openness, and then the consistency on the field too, and having that go mentality. I love the fast paced mentality. I'm a big fan of that too, and being aggressive, taking care of what you need to take care of. So thank you, Cole, for coming on, man. This is awesome. It was a blessing. We're excited for you guys. We're pulling for you guys when we are in the area. We are going down to the Mexican food joints. I got to go back to hear them again. Guadalajares, maybe, and Aloha's or something. I don't know, but we'll look it up in the Google.
There we go. I'll take you guys. Yeah, just let me know when you're in town.
Let's go.
We'll get a surf lesson together too. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I might need to do a few before you get out here.
No.
Yeah, I'll be on the pier. Sorry, guys.
Smart man.
Well,
Awesome,
Coach, thank
man.
you again. And if you ever need anything from us, you reach out. We'll be here. Okay.
For sure. I appreciate it, guys.
All right.
Awesome,
Thanks.
Cole.
We'll
See
talk
you,
to
man.
you soon.
Have a good one.
All right. Coach Mahoney crushed it. Great dude. Again, had a lot to say, especially on just, the way he's gone about and his journey and where he's at now. What'd you take out of that?
My favorite part, Ray, of every podcast that we get to do is learning the journeys of the people that we get to interview. And for him coming from Canada, not being, I guess, if you want to say the greatest player of all, right? Some people think that to coach, you have to be like the All-American everywhere. For his journey and where it took him to different schools, to different opportunities, all the knowledge and wisdom that he learned from the coaches that he got to play for, the athletes that he got to play with and against is really cool to see. And then him taking the leap to California, right? Coming to Southern California, never been there. I mean, I can't even imagine how nerve-wracking that might be for somebody, especially financially for him going out there kind of just unannounced, boom, and then gets to go to Ventura. He's been coaching there for a while. Now he's doing a great job as the head coach. So just hearing his journey, hearing his path, and then hearing how he develops a winning culture for a team that he knows is only going to be together 1 or 2 years at a time, that people will be there. So there's always like this revolving wheel at junior college levels. And I feel like they have one of the toughest jobs because you don't have 3 or 4 years to develop someone. You have 1, maybe 2, if we're lucky, to develop people. So to see the adversity that he's battled through, to see the different things that he's overcome, and to see how he instills that culture at a school that it could be really easy at junior college level to ignore the culture piece is really, really cool. And it starts in the weight room, right? You say, hey, get up early, get in the weight room, whether you like it or not. This is how we're going to do things. And so I love that part. What about you, Ray?
Yeah, no, I think his genuineness, right? It shows, it comes across. You had mentioned it in the interview, like energy, like you can feel somebody's energy the minute you start on the call with them. And I think his really showed through, and I think that shows through in his coaching too, right? Like that's the guy you're going to get. Like he wants to get out and he wants to win, but at the end of the day, he's going to treat you like a human being and develop you as a person. So, Coach, again, Mahoney, I can't thank you enough for coming on and for instilling some wisdom to our folks. So I think that's going to do it for us. And for us speaking, thank you for listening. Again, make sure if you happen to know this little guy's name, right, send it in, and we'll send you something cool. So anyways, hope you guys have a blessed week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Have a good week.